The allure of early retirement has many people pursuing FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. And while financial independence is objectively a good thing, there is a dark side to the FIRE movement that most people aren't aware of. In today's video, I'm going to share with you what it is and what you can do to avoid it. Hey everybody, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you how to get the most out of life with your money. While there are different ways of pursuing FIRE, in general, it involves heavily increasing your savings and your investing rate. The general premise is if you cut expenses dramatically today, it means there's less income that you ultimately need to support your lifestyle, and at the same time, there's a lot of extra savings that you can do from your salary. It's not abnormal to see people part of the FIRE movement saving or investing 40, 50, 60% or more of their actual income. Now here's the thing, if you plug those numbers into a spreadsheet, so assuming you start early and you save 40, 50, 60% of your paycheck towards retirement, you're gonna have a few $1,000,000 or more by the time you hit 40, 45. When you look at that, that might seem great. Who wouldn't want to have substantial assets at a young age like 40 or 45? Here's the problem with that though. Life cannot be distilled down to a spreadsheet. When we look at it initially, if you're young and looking at this, or if you're in the process of this and looking at this, it seems very motivating to say, wow, I could have a few $1,000,000 by a very young age. That leads to a lot of excitement and joy of I'm gonna pour my money into this, all in the attainment or all in the pursuit of an attainment of an early retirement goal. The downside though, is this extreme obsession with hitting these numbers leaves you empty once you actually get there, and oftentimes the emptiness doesn't wait till you actually arrive. There's an empty feeling of it, everything you're doing. If you're sacrificing time with friends and family and things that are meaningful to you, all in the pursuit of a number, that number is not gonna magically make you happy. That number is not gonna magically make you fulfilled. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you put so much of your time and effort and energy and expectation into that, you're let down in an incredible way once you actually get there. Take the story of Carl and Mindy, who are on the I Will Teach You to Be Rich podcast. They retired in their early 40s with over $4 million net worth. It's pretty impressive. They lived frugally, they invested heavily, they acquired real estate and other assets, and on the outside, that looks pretty good until you hear them speak. They recalled a time where they went out to breakfast and their daughter ordered something on the menu that cost $20. And for as much money as they had and a net worth that was in the millions, that wasn't going to make a dent in their portfolio value or their overall net worth, but they found themselves stressing about this expensive item that their daughter purchased. And what they realized is they couldn't bring themselves to enjoy actually spending the money. They had been so committed to saving and living frugally and living well below their means that the actual process of spending became very difficult. More importantly, the process of enjoying, especially something with a family breakfast, was difficult for them to do. Carl said something along the lines in the podcast that he asked himself, why do I feel the same exact way once I've hit these numbers, once I've reached these millions? And what he started to realize was something very important for all of us to realize. He mentioned that happiness isn't going to come from some external number on your portfolio. In fact, the opposite is true if you place your happiness or your source of happiness in the pursuit of some number. And happiness is something that's driven internally. And what he started to realize is that money should serve our goals, not the other way around. Our goal shouldn't be to serve money. And inadvertently, that's what a lot of the FIRE movement has become, not to everybody, but certainly to too many people who are pursuing it. Here's the ultimate problem with the FIRE movement, and even planning in general sometimes, is a great financial plan is incomplete without a great life plan at its foundation. Money should not ever be the thing. Rather, money should be used to support the thing, that thing being your life plan. So what's a better approach? Well, align your money with what actually matters to you, because remember, the goal isn't to double your portfolio value. The goal isn't to save money on taxes. The goal isn't to collect Social Security at the perfect age. Those are all tactics that should support the goal, but the goal has nothing to do with any of those things by themselves. The goal is a wonderful relationship with your spouse and with your kids. The goal is a fulfilling, fun life spent traveling or playing pickleball or doing things with friends or things that you find meaningful. The goal is the pursuit of the things that actually matter to us, of which money isn't the thing, but money supports those things. So what should you do instead? Well, sit down and write out what's actually most important to you. Nothing to do with money. Don't write a portfolio value or a tax strategy or even an income level at work. Write down what's important to you. Could be your spouse, your kids and grandkids, your friends, your community, your church, things that you actually value most. Start there. Once you've done that, then you can actually assign tasks to each of those values that show what a good, fulfilling life looks like. In fact, let's do this together. So let's assume that these things on this page here are the things that are important to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write out, what does success look like in each of these things? What do I want the future to look like? Well, if my spouse is important to me, which I hope it's important to everybody, what does that look like? How can I intentionally do things to pour into my relationship with my spouse? Well, I might write here a weekly date night. I might write we want to get coffee together a couple times per week, just the two of us. I might also write children, so kids. Maybe we want to take family vacations a couple times per year. The fact is here, none of this has to be the same for everyone, but once you start getting intentional, here's the next thing you can do. I can start to come in here and assign a dollar value to each of these. Okay, date night and coffee. How much do I want to budget for that each month? Let's put in a number here, $500 per month. What about family trips per year? Okay, let's assign a dollar value here of, let's just say, $10,000 per year. Now, I'm just making up numbers, but as you look at this and as you start to go through this, I could say friends. I want to golf with friends. I want to do an annual surf trip with friends. I could look at faith or religion. I could say I want to give a certain amount of dollars per year. Health and fitness. I could say I want to attend the gym 4 times a week, 5 times a week. And what I can start to do here is I can start to assign dollar values. Okay, maybe a gym membership is $100 per month. Maybe I want to give $5,000 per year. Maybe the things I want to do with friends are going to cost $3,000 per year. Now, obviously, I can't distill down friendship, family, faith, legacy, giving to just a dollar value, but what I can do is I can imagine, what does my ideal future look like with regards to each of these things, and how do I make sure I can allocate my money so I can use my money as a tool to help me fulfill that. Now, all of a sudden, I don't care if I'm doubling my portfolio or saving thousands in taxes or claiming Social Security at the right time. I do care about that, but only to the extent that allows me to pursue these things that I actually care about. So let's assume I've gone through that exercise together. I might say, okay, it's going to cost me $50,000 per year of just basic living expenses. And then you know what? I want another $15,000 per year for travel to create memories with my family. Then I want $2,000 per year to spend on health and fitness. Then I want $13,000 per year for fun and leisure to do things with family and friends. Then I want $5,000 per year for giving. And once I start to add all these things up, I come up with $85,000 after taxes that I need. Now think about this for a second. That $85,000 represents something very specific. That represents the fulfillment of what I actually care about. So I'm no longer interested in the spreadsheet that says, how do I get to $4 million by the age of 45? Or how do I get to $2 million by the age of 70? Those things are all somewhat arbitrary. It's only once we've identified what we're actually planning for. What does success look like to us? What does fulfillment look like to us? We can back into a number, and then our goal doesn't become an arbitrary portfolio value. It becomes saying, how can I create a large enough portfolio to support this so I can start doing the things, fully doing the things that truly are meaningful to me? And one of the hard things is we're wired in a way to always want more. And on top of that, our culture plays into this quite substantially as well. So it's easy to get caught up in the FIRE movement. And again, there's nothing objectively wrong with wanting financial independence. That's a great thing, but it has to be a well-placed intention. The intention can't be a portfolio value or a savings rate just for the sake of that. One thing that I found helpful in my own life to reframe this is understanding the concept of enough. I made this video here to talk about it. Not enough in the sense that our goal should be to get to a number and stop. But how do we think of enough? What would it actually take to do the things that are important to us? Because once you can start to distill this and understand this, it reframes the way you think about money into a much healthier, much more productive view that ultimately allows you to get more life out of your money. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial. And if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.